And welcome, guys, back to MD Investor. You're in the right place to learn about personal finance. That's right, you're in the right place to learn about personal finance. It's a channel where we talk about personal finance and all different aspects. We're talking about debt, budgeting, setting and achieving goals. We're talking about teaching our children so they can be financially intelligent. We're talking about leaving legacy wealth. Talking about attaining financial freedom and truly do what we were meant to do on this planet and not just spend an entire life working for somebody else. We're talking about breaking the cycle of generational poverty. I'll say it again. We're talking about breaking the cycle of generational poverty. We don't have to go generation after generation living off the government, generation after generation of being broke, generation after generation working for years and have nothing to show for it. So now I'm on Instagram. You can follow me there at MD Investor One. That's MD Investor One. Thanks God for all the love and the support. Like, thumbs up, share with people you think may benefit from this, and definitely leave a subscription. Absolutely. So today we're talking about, yes, it's an emergency. Part 2. Yes, it's an emergency. Part 2. Not a heart attack, not a stroke. Nothing is fractured, nothing is dislocated, no bowel obstruction. But it is an emergency. The first part, in part 1 of Yes, It Was an Emergency, we're talking about the importance of having an emergency fund. Part 2, it's an emergency. The question for you is, come closer. Who do you work for? You heard me. Who do you work for? In addition to your employer, whose name is on the check, you might work for the department of so-and-so. You might work for ABC Company Incorporated. You might work for ABC Company LLC. But who do you work for? A lot of people say, well, I work for myself. I work for my family. A lot of people might say, that's a silly question. How dare you ask me, who do I work for? How dare you ask, who do I work for? Okay, let's get into it, guys. The Bible says in Proverbs 22:7, the rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender. Let's read that again. The rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender. The Bible is clearly telling us that the rich among us ruled over the poor. And we know that, we understand that, we see that, we live in this world. We know that the rich people, they rule over the poor. We see that, right? Telling them what to do, right? Cutting their checks, cutting their hours, and they kind of rule over them and affect your life, right? The last video we talked about having an emergency fund, right? Without an emergency fund, we're talking about how the insecurity on the outside of the world can creep into your house, and you try to avoid that by having an emergency fund. So the rich rules over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender. So you're borrowing money from the credit card company, taking loans. The Bible says you are servant to the lender. Who do you work for? Well, a quick way to find out who you work for is to take a look at your checking account or your online banking statement. What do you mean? Who do you work for? Through your old checks or your online statements, you'll see money being paid to credit card companies. How much money did you pay to American Express, Visa, MasterCard, Diners Club, Verizon? Yeah, I got your cable. Yeah, you know we gotta watch our cable, right? AT&T, our loans, student loans, our car loans. Don't forget about mortgage and rent. So you look and you see all these money going out, going out, going out, going out, going out. Who do you work for? And this is a nice way for you to find out how much time did I spend working for this company. Take how much money you paid this company. For example, look at your credit card statement and see how much money you paid this company. Find out how much money you make per hour. Divide how much you paid them by how much you make per hour, and that's how much time or hours you work for them. Example, you paid $1,000 to credit card company. You make, say, $20 an hour. 1,000 divided by 20, if I'm not incorrect, is 50. So you worked 50 hours for that credit card company. You see that? Take how much you pay them. Now take how much you paid them, how much money you make per hour, divide the two, and that tells you how much you had to work to pay them. You worked for this credit card company 20 hours. Or 50 hours. 50 hours. The math's getting messed up. 50 hours. But you get the point, right? Okay, how much did you work for yourself? Same thing, right? How much did you save? How much did you invest this month? Divide by how much you make per hour. Tells you how much you work for yourself this month. You invested $0, you saved $0, divided by $20 per hour. The 0 over $20 per hour equals 0. You didn't work for yourself at all this month. You see that? But you got up early. You were on the bus. You were on the train. You had you were driving. You made it on time. But you didn't work for yourself at all. No, not at all. You spend maybe 2-3 hours working for the American Express. You work 4 hours for Visa this month. You work 5 hours for the for your student loan, and you work 3 hours for this and for the kids' tuition, and you add it all up, add them up. 40 hours a week, and not one of those hours was for you. Not one of those hours was for you. What a shame. What a shame. I bet nobody ever explained it to you like that, right? That's why you're blessed to be in the right place at the right time, listening to the MD Investor. Let's go. We can go years by doing this, right? You can go years by doing this. We just finished the summer, right? And that's why it was so important why we said about setting goals. We just finished the summer, June, July, August. How much closer to your goals are you now than before the summer started? Well, if you don't have any goals, you have no idea. And also, if you were not working for yourself and contributing to you, you're also not much closer than you were 3 months ago. And this can go on for month after month after month after month. And think about it. We don't feel like it's an emergency, right? The title of the video is, well, one part of the title of the video is, It's an Emergency, Part 2. Or the question, who do we work for? It's an emergency, Part 2, meaning you can go years and years, months and months, working without paying yourself one dime. Try missing 1 month of mortgage. Try not paying your rent for 1 month. The phone will be ringing. They will send letters to your house. I don't know what happened. You've always been on time. I don't know, why you missed it. Just tell us what's going on and send us in. Try missing a month of utility. Gas, electric, light. Just because when you don't pay yourself, you don't consider it an emergency, try not to pay your other bills. The problem is we don't consider it an emergency when we don't pay ourselves, but when we don't pay other people, they absolutely consider it an emergency. Try not to pay your phone bill. Try not to pay your cell phone bill. 1 month, 2 months, you will have no service. And if you're watching me on your phone, you wouldn't be watching me. You know why? Because your service would be cut off. It is an emergency to them. Try not to pay your kids' school tuition. It's an emergency to the school. They'll say, well, we're not going to be able to release a transcript. You won't be getting a report card until all bills are brought current. Right? try not to pay your credit card, right? Not only will they jack you up with the credit bureau and mess up your credit rating, you won't be able to use that card soon after, right? So you're not in good standing. It's an emergency to them. They're not going to wait a month, 2 months, 3 months, no, 1 month, and the phone is ringing. They try to get on your phone, what's going on? We need to work it out. Can you do at least a partial payment? But you go months and months without paying yourself. And it's not an emergency. There's no letter. There's no siren. There's nobody. The phone is not ringing up. Did you know you didn't invest anything this month in your 401k? No, you didn't invest anything this month in your IRA. The phone ain't blown up. Ain't nobody calling. Nobody here is on fire. It is not an emergency. Yes, I'm here to tell you it is an emergency. And you should treat it as thus. Okay? You should treat it as it's an emergency. Wow. The summer went by and I didn't pay myself anything. Okay, we got to correct that. How, you go on, we ask people, how you doing? Oh, man, just paying the bills. As if that's all there is to their working life. It's work and to pay the bills. I'm just working to pay Con Ed. I have no dreams of my own. I just want to keep the light on. I'm just working to make sure that I could pay the car payment because I don't want it to be repossessed. I'm working to pay the mortgage because I don't want it to be foreclosed on. I'm just working to pay the student loan because I don't want to be in bad standing. But what about your dreams? Are you getting any closer? So it is an emergency. I believe that we should pay ourselves first. We're the one doing the work. Ain't nobody getting up early and riding the train and working overtime and working double shift and holiday hours and all that stuff. Nobody's doing it. You're the one doing it. So I believe we should pay ourselves first. And before the brothers jump on me and say, hey, we got to pay the Lord first, we got to pay tithe first. By paying yourself first, I'm talking about we should pay ourselves first in a pre-tax account. What I mean? When you pay yourself pre-tax in a 401k or a IRA, you're actually paying yourself before the government take their tax money. You're paying yourself before IRS get there. That's why it's called pre-tax. You're paying yourself first, and then after you pay yourself, then the government comes in and take their tax money. Right? So you got it. You pay yourself first in your 401k, your IRA. The government then take your taxes. You don't pay tax on the money that you set aside for your retirement. You don't. That's why it's called pre-tax. You'll pay tax later when you take it out at our retirement age, but that's another video, another story. But the bottom line is you're paying yourself first. After you get your money, now you can make your priorities. Pay your church, pay your gifts to the church and your offering. You'll pay your all your other bills. But at least you paid yourself first. Okay? And when you pay yourself first, what happens is that you have to live on the remainder. Okay? A lot of times when we don't pay ourselves first, everybody else gets paid. And when it comes to you, there is no money left. So you said, okay, well, next month I'll try to do better. And 1 month, at least the next month, next thing is Christmas, it's another year. And it goes on and on like this. I used to wonder, how is it possible that someone can work 40 years? 40 years on a job. And be broke and end up with nothing. This is how it happens. Month after month, not considering it an emergency when they miss paying themselves. Not paying themselves month after month and not consider it an emergency. And before you know, months turn into years, years turn into decades, and before you know it, it's time to retire. But I'm here to tell you, it is an emergency. Just like when you don't pay your mortgage and rent and credit card, it's an emergency to them. You're more important than the credit card companies, and you're more important than the utility company. If you don't pay yourself, you should consider it an emergency. And say, I got to deal with this. I got to stop this situation right now. I got to get my affairs in order and pay myself because it is an emergency. So that's another video, guys. It is an emergency part 2 about we got to pay ourselves first. Okay? I want you to continue to subscribe if you like the content. Like, thumbs up. If there's people you think who could benefit from this information about personal finance, send them the videos, send them the link, because we are in it together. We're going to learn together. We're going to grow together. We're going to succeed together. We're going to leave a legacy to our children. We're going to break the cycle of generational poverty. I'll see you on the next video. Be blessed, and bless somebody else.